cold, Morgan woke up shivering, his breath cooling in the air before him. Why was it so damn cold? Key West was known for a lot of things, but its frigid mornings weren't one of them. Quickly pulling himself from the sheets and throwing on his robe, which did nothing to impede the chill, he hustled to the additional thermostat in the hall. The wood floor like against his bare feet. 32 degrees. That couldn't be, right? Could it? True, it did feel accurate, but when had the tip of Florida ever been 32 degrees in August? Morgan clicked on the heat and the little old house groaned its disapproval, the furnace sputtering its way to life. It had been what? At least a decade since he had last turned it on. It was remarkable that it worked at all. He placed his hand over the vent to verify that a stable stream of heat was actually coming out, and then hustled back to the bedroom closet for something warmer to wear. Much to his chagrin, and as he expected, there was very little to choose from by the way of warmth. Typically flowered silk shirts and varying array of cargo shorts and bathing suits pretty much made up his wardrobe. He had exactly 2 pairs of pants, a pair of people thin, linen slacks he wore when he was going fancy, and a pair of painter coveralls. Morgan settled down on both and the seldom used blanket from the lining closet as coat. The sun was blaring through every window at the same time, and he wondered how the heck in the heck it could be so sunny and bright out and still so cold at the same time. Curious to inspect the afternoon, he opened the front to a blinding white light which he had to shield his eyes from until he could adjust to the difference. What he saw on the other side of the second glass door wilted him to the floor, unable to move and shocked beyond the ability to comprehend. The vibrant green paradise he left outside when he went to bed the night before was no longer. It was replaced by clean white nothingness. It was snow, and not just a little bit. It came to the middle of the door easily, 4 or 5 feet in depth, and had completely burned everything. What the? Was all he could gasp, as he desperately tried to wrap his mind around what he was actually seeing. Slowly returning to mobility, Morgan pulled the glass door open. He had to see, he had to know that this wasn't some type of hallucination. Thick white fluffy snow came spilling into the house, covering the sand he tracked the day before. It was real, alright. The air was piercing and furious, a blizzard still in progress as he closed the door, shivering all over again. His mind was racing, but no plans. It just made no sense. 11 years ago, he had gone to Ann Arbor to watch his sister's oldest son graduate a Wolverine from the University of Michigan. In the following, the entire dysfunctional family went to north to Empty Holly to do some skiing. Morgan remembered thinking that he would never see that much snow again for the rest of his life. He was wrong. He then ran to the kitchen window to see what the oceanside view consisted of, but not before. Cursing to himself, he put the one set of clothing he hated to wear the most, socks. The slide was normally his favorite, as his little piece of retirement heaven sat directly on the beach. But today it was the most disturbing thing he had ever laid his eyes on. Green palm trees, golden sand, and brilliant blue waters were replaced by a clean sheet of white. The snow that continued to fall did nothing to improve the view, but was acutely aware of where the island ended and the Atlantic began. That line could no longer be seen. There was nothing on the other side of the window that would have been indicated that he was anywhere near a body of water. No waves or rocking, just smooth layer formation. It shocked him. Grabbing the remote from the kitchen counter, Morgan flipped on the outdated 13-inch television that sat next to the coffee maker, which officials called a bomb cyclone. Again, officials are warning all residents to stay inside and wait. Okay, we're going to Sam now with the latest update. Sam? Thanks, Jane. This is definitely unpredicted. This storm is the first of its kind recorded in history, and the combination of conditions that need to come together to produce the storm of the century are seldom seen in. The signal cut and the high-pitched tone of the emergency broadcast system filled the room, bouncing off the linoleum floor and wicker cabinets. Morgan Freed had been half expecting it to kick in at any minute. This is the emergency alert system. The familiar robot-tuned voice informed. This is not a test. We repeat, this is not a test. FEMA and the National Weather Service have been issued a severe weather storm warning for the Florida Key regions. All citizens are encouraged to. The screen went black, and the lights followed. Morgan could hear the furnace clicking its way to a stop. The power was out. Everything else about his freaky storm was foreign to him. But this he could handle. On Stock Island, Florida, at the very tip of the Keys, they weren't unfamiliar with an inclement weather. In the last decade alone, hurricanes had become something of ever-present threat, a new moniker, always just waiting in the deep of the Atlantic to come say hi. The population of Stock Island included just a little over 1,200 residents, and it was fair to say that at least two-thirds of them had become was the media to call preppers. Hardly of any of those were like what you might see in a reality show with bunkers and arsenals, but after getting your butt handed to you after the storm, you learn to prepare the basics. The emergency generator had been installed nearly 20 years ago after the hurricane. George decimated the area and, well, a little outdated, stayed perfectly dry in its concrete hovel connected to a kitchen by a tiny half door in the white